Thanks, Ollie. Well, for months there has been speculation about whether Iran would be willing and indeed able to take their place at the World Cup finals on US soil. Although Iran and the US have now agreed a preliminary peace deal to end their conflict, an agreement that President Trump says has already been signed, there remains a tension that has drawn the eyes and ears of the world to this fixture. In Iran's pre-match press conference, questions about the football were few and far between. When it comes to sporting ambition, the stakes are high for both Iran and New Zealand. Iran have never reached the knockout phase, while New Zealand have never even won a game at the World Cup. The All Whites are the lowest ranked team at these finals, but having dominated all comers in their region of Oceania, they have earned their place on the global stage. Let's give you the two lineups in full then. With Iran, it's Alireza Behranvand in goal, Milan Mohammadi, Shoja Khalilzadeh, Ali Lemati and Ramin Rezayan at the back. Mohamed Mohebi, Saeed Ezzatullahi, Saman Ghoddos and Arya Yousefi in midfield. The front two, Shahriar Moghanlou supporting Mehdi Taremi. As for New Zealand, it's Millwall's Max Crocombe in goal. Wrexham left-back Liberato Kakache has overcome a knock to start. Michael Boxall, Finn Sermon and Tim Payne complete the back four. Swansea's Marco Stamenic alongside Joe Bell in midfield. Motherwell's Elijah Just out wide. Callum McCowart on the right side with Sarpreet Singh, the former Bayern player, in the 10. And up front, it is Nottingham Forest's Chris Wood. He is New Zealand's record scorer, 45 goals. And tonight, it is cap number 91. Perry Groves alongside me. How do New Zealand go about this tonight?
Well, I think they've got to just manage the first sort of quarter, make sure you get past that first 15 minutes without conceding, because you know that Iran are probably going to dominate possession. We'll say we saw earlier with Cape Verde against Spain, where if you're properly structured, and it'll be a 4-5-1 when they're out of possession, but what you don't want them dropping too deep, in the first, so you don't want to sort of invite Iran onto you, because you know full well they've got players like Ghoddos in midfield, who's very good on the ball. You've got Yousefi on the right hand side, who's good at 1v1s, and obviously not to mention Taremi up front, who's the poacher.
It's around about 6 o'clock in the evening, local time in LA. The temperature around about 24 degrees Celsius. This extraordinary LA stadium, which was opened in 2020, which hosted the Super Bowl in 2022, the CONCACAF Gold Cup final in 2023, WrestleMania the same year. Ed Sheeran's playing here in August. It is a big stadium for the big occasion, and this is a huge occasion for both Iran and New Zealand. And it will be New Zealand all in black tonight who will kick us off, playing from right to left. As we look at it, Iran all in whites, and the anticipation reaching fever pitch. For months there was doubt about whether Iran would be willing and or able to take their place at World Cup finals on US soil, but here they are beginning their journey against New Zealand. Iran have never made the knockout phase of a World Cup. New Zealand have never even won a game at the finals. This is big for both. And straight away Rezayan with an early cross for Iran from the right hand side, headed away by New Zealand. It comes out to the left hand side with Mohebi. Iran on the front foot straight away. Ezzatullahi, hugely experienced in midfield, his 85th cap tonight. He's had something of a nomadic career. He's played in 8 different countries in his club career. Smashed forward by Ali Lemati by Iran down the centre, only half cleared, and here is Mehdi Taremi, a buzz around the stadium with Taremi's first touch. Moghanlou picks up the pieces on the edge of the area, comes out to Rezayan, curling cross, diving headed away by Sermon. New Zealand under pressure early on, but their first chance to really break now with Sarpreet Singh, the number 10, who was on the books of Bayern Munich at one stage, only had 2 appearances with the German giants, but still holds that very close to his heart, that spell in Germany with one of Europe's biggest clubs. But Perry Groves, exactly what we thought, Iran on the front foot.
Yeah, very much. Let's fit down the right hand side with Rezain. He's had the ball out there twice, but he hasn't had any hesitation getting the ball into the box. The first one just a little bit overhit. Sermon defended it really well, got his header away, but now it's just Iran have recycled possession.
Azatolahi back to the goalkeeper, Ali Reza Behramvans, 88th cap for the goalkeeper tonight. Somebody who made his name saving a penalty against Cristiano Ronaldo at the World Cup of 2018. An incident that's become so famous it's appeared in 2 different television series in Iran. Iran just smashing the ball forward down the left-hand side up towards Moghamlu, who was something of a surprise selection alongside Taremi tonight. You thought Mehdi Gaedi might feature alongside Taremi, and then a free kick won by Iran on the far side, the left as we look at it. It's Yousefi, who's actually lined up on the left so far. Perry, we did think he might be playing on the right-hand side, but he's on the left so far for Iran.
Yeah, just really good control from Yousefi. Just Bell getting a bit too tight from New Zealand, just giving the free kick away. Just interesting, you said Azatolahi, who's playing obviously as one of the holders for Iran in midfield, he's the one who's dropping a little bit deeper, trying to get off the goalkeeper.
Ball was run loose to Saman Ghoddos, the former Brentford player, who did play a couple of games for Sweden actually earlier in his international career, but then switched to Iran. But the Iran attack breaks down, and here goes Sarpreet Singh again down the right. For New Zealand, a wins a throw on the far side, the right, as we look at it halfway inside the Iranian half. 3 minutes gone, live World Cup commentary on TalkSport. We're bringing you every kick of this World Cup across the TalkSport network. It is Iran 0, New Zealand 0.
Yeah, they're just settling into it now. New Zealand just trying to get themselves a little bit of possession. Sermon and Boxall, the 2 centre-halves splitting. We mentioned Stamanic, who's playing in obviously the centre midfield for New Zealand. He's one who's dropped it a little bit deeper, but really sloppy play from Boxall.
It was a mistake by Boxall, the clearance that was charged down, and here goes Taremi trying to charge into the New Zealand penalty area. They managed to get players back there to dig Boxall out of trouble. It's a big night for him. 37 now, Michael Boxall. He's become the oldest New Zealand international to ever feature at a World Cup finals, but he made a big mistake there.
Yeah, it was a big mistake, but just in possession. That's what New Zealand have to do, Kev. They have to keep the ball better. You know, don't want to give it away cheaply. To be fair, Taremi had a 1v1 with Sermon, so Boxall's centre-half colleague got him out a little bit of trouble. But you see New Zealand as well, they're not sitting deep, they're trying to press. Chris Wood setting off the press, and then Singh just following him as well.
With just the Motherwell winger down the left-hand side, little give and go with Chris Woods. It's going to be so important to get Chris Wood involved. He was really isolated against England when New Zealand lost 1-0 in a warm-up game. But here come Iran, and space suddenly on the edge of the area. Moghamlu trying to play it through for Taremi. He rather rushed that. There were options for him, and it's been begun at a terrific pace, this game, and New Zealand's on the attack now, but given away cheaply by Singh. Can't afford to do that against such an experienced Iranian team. 7 of the 11 for Iran tonight have made more than 50 appearances for their country.
I think there's 11 in the squad as a whole. They've got over 50 caps. I said they're very, very experienced. Never made their way out of the group stage, so they'll fancy their chances with Belgium, Egypt, the 1-1 draw beforehand. So Iran, or one of the teams, can win this game. Just eases the pressure, you know, going into the second game. But I think New Zealand actually have done well in this first 5 minutes. They've disrupted the flow of the game.
Lovely angle ball out to the left edge of the penalty area, and cuts inside on the right foot, and the shot was straight at the goalkeeper. Really, it was a good driving feel from Yousefi. Right foot shot that was straight at the goalkeeper. That's the first time Iran have really broken into the box, and Yousefi hit it hard and low, and Crocombe makes his first save of the night.
Well, if Tim Payne, the New Zealand right back, wants more followers, he's got to make sure that he defends a little bit better than that, Kev, to be fair, because Yousefi's looked lively on that left-hand side for Iran. He just gets it. He wants to come in on his right foot, so Payne's got to just show him down the outside on his weaker left foot, but he lets him come inside, and if you let him come inside, you've got to make sure you go and stop the shot and go and block it. He didn't manage to do it in the end, though. It's a simple save from Crocombe, just low down in his feet.
Tim Payne, who has become something of an unlikely star at this World Cup already, in the sense that there's an Argentinian influencer who decided that Payne was worthy of being bigged up ahead of the tournament. He's gained millions of followers on social media, Tim Payne, as a result. Here's Chris Wood, 30 yards from goal. They've worked it well. Wood in the area. It's come for Just! New Zealand strike! Elijah Just with a goal in the opening 7 minutes. The ball was played towards Chris Wood in the box. It dropped perfectly for Just. His right foot shot beyond Berenband. Surprise, surprise! It's New Zealand who strike first. They lead Iran by a goal to nil.
Well, that is just magnificent, because it's really good play from Chris Wood initially. There's a long ball down the middle. The two Iranian centre-halves just back off. Chris Wood's able just to get it on his chest. Just plays a little give and go with Just, who's come in from the left-hand side centrally, and then it goes back to Chris Wood. He chests it down. He thinks he's going to get a shot in, but just as it bounces away from him, Just does really well because he follows the pass. Then as it comes to him with a brilliant touch with his left foot, flicks it onto his right foot, a volley, smashes it past Berenband, give him absolutely no chance whatsoever. What a fantastic start from New Zealand. Brilliant play all round. Really poor defending from Iran, so just backed off from Chris Wood. You can't afford to do that. And a fantastic volley from Just.
The lowest ranked side in the World Cup have struck within the opening 7 minutes of their campaign. Elijah Just, who's had a really great time at Motherwell. He's been talking about how much he's enjoyed playing in Scotland. Said he's loved settling in Glasgow with his girlfriend. He said his time there exceeded all expectations. We'll talk about exceeding expectations. New Zealand are doing just that. It's his 10th goal for his country. It is by far the most memorable. And Iran suddenly find themselves behind in this World Cup of shocks so far.
Well, we said about getting the service before, didn't we, Kevin, to Chris Wood? The service has been really good, but he's an old-fashioned centre-forward where he likes to back into the centre-half. The two Iranian centre-halves just backed off when they first come into him. They were probably 10-15 yards away from him. At least one of them's got to go engage him, and you can't give a player of his quality that much time. So Just does really well coming in from the left-hand side as a little give and go. We said about getting players up to support him. They did that brilliantly, New Zealand there.
New Zealand have never won a game at the World Cup finals. Lost all three in 1982 in Spain, drew all three in 2010. Looking for their first victory at this level. And up against an Iranian team that played 16 qualifiers in the Asian section and only lost once. Ball floated towards the right-hand side by Iran, right over the head of Ramin Rezaeian. And Iran have to settle now, having conceded that early goal, but what a boost for New Zealand and their manager Darren Baisley, who is English, former Walsall and Watford defender, but he's been a coach in New Zealand since 2011. And here come his team, and McCowart in off the right-hand side for New Zealand. The number 20 has come into the team for the injured Matt Garbett, the Peterborough United player who's been ruled out of the tournament. Crossed on the right-hand side by New Zealand, it's swept away, but not convincingly by Namati. And they're struggling to clear their lines here. Moganlu with the poor clearance straight to Joe Bell in the New Zealand midfield. He works it to Wrexham's Liberato Kakache, man who made 12 championship appearances for Wrexham this season. And New Zealand have started this game with real confidence.
We see the confidence, obviously, when they're in possession. They're pushing the two fullbacks, Kakache on the left-hand side and playing on the right-hand side. They're actually playing as wing-backs in possession. I say, have to be really impressed with the way that New Zealand have gone about this first 10 and a half minutes, because we did think that they would sit back, but they haven't. They've actually pressed from the front. We said, obviously, with Chris Wood starting off and Singh then joining him. And I'm just looking at the Iranian side. I think they're just a little bit complacent at the minute. I think there's another half a yard to yard they can fight, especially when they're out of possession. All the little 50-50s and all the niggling little knockdowns, New Zealand are the ones that are winning them.
Got to bear in mind that Iran are only just outside the top 20 in the FIFA rankings. New Zealand's in the 80s. And so far, this has been a World Cup that's made a mockery of rankings. And here is Chris Wood again, trying to flick the ball over the head of a defender on the edge of the area. Comes to Just. Now Singh, edge of the area, into the box. Singh with the shot, left-footed, and he's hit it well wide. He'd done the hard part. He wriggled into a shooting position, and he drags his effort well wide of the far post. Another great chance for New Zealand.
Well, Singh wasn't singing from the same hymn sheet as Just a little bit earlier. But again, it's good link-up play. Chris comes into Chris Wood, he's the one who's holding it up, becomes to Singh on the edge of the 18-yard box, really good feet, gets it onto his left foot, and he's just snap-hooked it, doesn't hit the target. But again, it just shows you, I can't believe from the Iranian point of view that nobody's engaging Chris Wood. That every time, I think he's chested it, 5 times in this opening 12 minutes.
Singh with the cross from the left-hand side, headed away by Ali Namati. New Zealand's sense that there's a second goal to be had here. Here's Swansea City's Marco Stamanic, who was on the books of Nottingham Forest at one stage, didn't make a single appearance for them. Here come New Zealand again with McCowart coming off that right-hand side into the feet of Woods, who is dominating so far. Out to Tim Payne, wide on the right-hand side, right-footed cross deflected, headed away at the near post by Ali Namati, kept alive by McCowart, and then it's hacked away again by Ali Namati. And it is all New Zealand at the moment. 13th minute in LA. World Cup action on TalkSport. Iran 0, New Zealand 1.
Well, at the moment, Chris Wood is playing like Cristiano Ronaldo, because he had the ball come into him, he's tried to flick it on the outside of Meti and spin around him. And you can just tell this New Zealand side are a very, very well coached team. We mentioned obviously about the step up there, they 86 ranked in the FIFA World Rankings. But you wouldn't think that.
One throw only half cleared, and Stamanic on the follow-up has his effort blocked by Yousefi. But they're causing problems from set plays, they're causing problems in open play. Iran can't get out at the moment.
Well, Stamanic there, who's normally sort of the holding midfield player, just shows you the confidence that New Zealand play with at the moment, because he was in the box trying to get knocked down from a long throw. Now obviously a corner for New Zealand over on their right-hand side.
What can they come up with here? Kakache raises his right hand, ready to play it. They play it short, trying to change the angle of attack. It goes to curly-haired Joe Bell in the inside right channel. Out to Kakache, left-footed cross, that's blocked, headed away by Taremi. Not very far, and a chance here for Chris Wood, and he was taken off his toe. He was 6 yards out, his eyes lit up, he was about to score, and he was denied by a brilliant piece of defending. That was so nearly 2-0, but now Iran will look to break in numbers down the right-hand side with Rezaeian. Early ball infield looking for Godos, who felt he was fouled, and the referee, our Mexican referee Cesar Arturo Ramos, says there's no case to answer and plays on.
Well, it's a massive chance here for Chris Wood. Just got stuck underneath his feet, he's only 6 yards out, just needs to get a better touch. To be fair, it was Moganlu, the Iranian centre forward, who got his team out of trouble. He just made sure that he went in and gave, got a little toe poke in. But again, when it gets a little bit disjointed, every time that there's a 50-50 or the game gets a bit scrappy, it's New Zealand are coming out on top. It's New Zealand are going to get themselves on the ball. We just see Bell there just getting it off the goalkeeper Crocombe. He's under no pressure whatsoever.
Quarter of an hour gone on TalkSport. Iran 0, New Zealand 1. Space here though for Mohabi. They've worked into Godos, edge of the area for Iran. Nifty turn on the edge of the box, and it goes to that left hand side. The early cross is blocked. It was a situation there where Iran had numbers forward, but again New Zealand stayed strong, and every time Iran do pose a threat, New Zealand are finding an extra defender.
Yep, they'll just make sure they go and engage. It was Godos who got the ball in the 18-yard box. To be fair, the Sermon who come out, got the blocking by Yousefi, who just whipped over and take a long throw from New Zealand from the left, Iran from the left.
Into the white shirts to aim for, it's in towards that near post. It was flicked on by Moganlu, he's won it again with the header, and Boxall just smashes the ball downfield, right-footed. We've had 16 minutes in LA, and it is Iran 0, New Zealand 1. New Zealand, the lowest ranked team in the World Cup finals, have never won a game at the big dance, but they've made the perfect start. Elijah Just with a goal in only the 7th minute. It's New Zealand's third appearance at a World Cup finals. As I mentioned, they drew all 3 games in South Africa in 2010 against Paraguay, Slovakia and Italy. The only unbeaten team in that World Cup. Put long by Iran into the New Zealand penalty area. Sermon came together with Moganlu, the Iranian fans baying for a penalty, but Cesar Arturo Ramos unmoved and shakes his head there. It remains 1-0.
Yeah, it's just Moganlu just trying to get in between the two Brazilian centre-half box and Sermon. Sermon just blocks his run off with his shoulder. Moganlu just goes to the floor far too easy. Referee Cesar Arturo Ramos quite rightly says get up.
Mentioned Darren Baisley and how he'd been a coach in New Zealand at various national team levels since 2011. He only got the top job in 2023. He's done it the right way. He coached the under-17s, under-20s, under-23s. As a player, he was a senior pro at Watford for a decade. He's been a dual national since 2015. And he has talked about blocking out the noise and ignoring all the talk of Iran and whether they were going to actually be at the finals. He's focused on his team and says we've just treated it like a normal game. We came here for a big game, came here for a big atmosphere. We are excited. Well, they have played like they're excited.
Yeah, and they're very well structured, as I said earlier. I'm just looking at Moganlu, who's obviously gone down too easily with that challenge from Sermon. So basically, there's nothing. Oh, he's not injured, Kev. There's nothing wrong with him. So he has to go off for a minute now.
Yeah, that's one of the new rules. If a player has to go off for treatment, it's a minute until they can come back on. So effectively, Iran down to 10 men. Didn't really seem much in it, did there?
Nothing at all. All it was was shoulder to shoulder. Obviously, he's gone down easy, try and get the penalty. All right, okay, you do that, but get yourself back on your feet. Because he said there now his team are down to 10 men, so whether New Zealand can take advantage.
Iran have conceded the first goal on 14 previous occasions in World Cup finals. They have never come back to win. They've gone on to lose 11 times. They've come back for a draw on 3 occasions. Here are New Zealand with Sermon. That's a line-breaking pass to find Sarpreet Singh with the early shot. And it was spilled by the goalkeeper Berenvand, but he got it second time around. And Perry Groves, New Zealand, are finding pockets of space all over this pitch in Ella.
It's a great little ball in from Sermon. It's just a straight ball down the middle of the pitch. Singh finds himself in that 10 position. Again, when he gets the ball, Ken, there isn't an Iranian player within 5-6 yards of him. And he's got it onto his left foot. Couldn't quite get the right purchase on it and gets it straight at the goalkeeper. But you look at this, before the game, New Zealand had 1 win in the last 11 games, and in the qualifying, Iran had only lost 1 out of 16. You'd think it was the other way around. It's New Zealand are playing with a confidence, and they actually look like they're actually enjoying themselves.
Of course, there is context in the sense that the Iranian league was suspended earlier this year because of the conflicts with the US, and Iran have had their preparations disrupted. They were originally going to have their training based in Tucson, Arizona, but because of the political tension between Iran and the US and potential visa issues, they relocated to Tijuana in Mexico, just over the border with the US. They've been keen to focus on the fact that they're ready for this game. Amir Halanui talked about the fact his team could do something epic at this tournament, but they have not made an epic start. 20 minutes gone on TalkSport. Iran 0, New Zealand 1.
Yeah, we thought that when they're out of position, New Zealand might go into like a 4-5-1, but it's not. It's 4-4-2. So Singh goes up level with Chris Wood. Obviously, they're the two that are starting the press off when it gets into their half. So the modern terminology is a mid-block. You know, New Zealand aren't dropping too deep, but there's not enough movement. I'm just looking at the Iranian sort of front four. You've got Mohebi, Yousefi obviously gone on the left-hand side, Moganlu and Taremi up front. It's all very static. You know, there's no threat in behind the New Zealand back four.
Nice little spin from Yousefi on that left-hand side. Ronan Goros, and he threads it down the inside left channel, but New Zealand able to clear it. Stamanic now in the tight space midway inside his own half for New Zealand. A poor ball straight to Iran there in midfield. New Zealand trying to just clear, but it was rather wayward. Kevin Hatchard alongside the former Arsenal star Perry Groves for this one on TalkSport. So much football to come for you across the TalkSport network in the next few weeks. And there's a bit of a lunge there from Stamanic, and Iran happy to play on. Clearance by Sermon at full stretch from the edge of his own area for New Zealand. The referee's been fairly permissive so far. It's made for a good start to the game. And here's Chris Wood, New Zealand's record scorer, who has made a fabulous start to this game. And now it's swung by McCowett out to the right-hand side, and Tim Payne. Again, the fullback gets forward. Finds Sarpreet Singh, right edge of the Iranian penalty area. Stamanic into McCowett. Stamanic again, finding Joe Bell. 25 yards from goal. What do you think about the shot? Urged to shoot by some of the New Zealand fans, but turned down the opportunity. Boxall now. He's found McCowett onto his right foot, 30 yards from goal, dead centre, but he can't get that shot away. And here come Iran with Taremi. Buzz around the stadium every time he gets it. Taremi, edge of the area, right foot shot, hits the post. Well, he had options left and right. He went for goal. Max Crocombe was well beaten, but the upright comes to New Zealand's rescue, and Mehdi Taremi is denied what would have been a spectacular equaliser.
That's fantastic play from Taremi. It's the first time that New Zealand were backed off the two centre-halves. Sermon and Boxall just kept retreating to the edge of the 18-yard box. He said Taremi had options on his left and on his right, but being the centre forward that he is, as they backed off, he thought, no, I'm going to get the shot away. Gets to the edge of the D with his right foot. He just has a curler. It looks like Crocombe is well beaten. The dives full length, as you said, comes back off the upright. That's Iran's best chance of the game so far. And unfortunately, it just comes back up off the post.
Yes. Boxall now, 65th cap for Michael Boxall, the big centre-back, plays for Minnesota United in the US. He's been playing for the All Whites for a long, long time now. He credits his wife for that. She's a nutritionist, so she's taught him all the tricks of the trade to keep him going.
Happy wife, happy life.
And we can apply that in general.
Exactly.
Really. Bit of space here for Boxall, who's only scored the once, actually. Scored against Caledonia in the qualifiers. Said he didn't even realise he'd scored to start with. Said hearing the home crowd erupt was a pretty special moment. It was a goal that helped wrap up qualification. Forward by Crocombe, the Millwall goalkeeper. Onto the chest of Chris Wood, who turns 20 yards from goal. Is dispossessed, but only momentarily, just with the cross back in there, only half away. Wood tries to bring it down on the edge of the area, and it's eventually volleyed away from him by Halil Zadeh, but they cannot deal with Chris Wood at the moment.
Do you think that there's a magnet in the board, a magnet in Chris Wood's chest?
May well be. He looks that way at the moment.
Crocombe, the New Zealand goalkeeper, has just pinged it right down the centre of the pitch. Again, neither the centre-halves from Iran go and engage him. He just chests it down, and he's now just put it out to just on the left-hand side. We have to say, we're just obviously having the hydration break now, and it's Iran who need it far more than what New Zealand do, because this is going to stop New Zealand's flow, because they have been absolutely outstanding this first 24 minutes.
Well, just to underline the way that New Zealand have started this game, in the first 19 minutes they had 6 goal attempts. That was already more than they had in the whole of their last World Cup match against Paraguay in 2010. They only had 4 goal attempts in the whole of that match. It has been an extraordinary start to the game for them. So we've got this hydration break. Amir Galanui talking to his players. Apart from trying to lock down Chris Wood, what else do they need to do?
I think they need to be a little bit more aggressive out of possession, and we mentioned obviously there's 17 players in the squad that haven't played in any domestic football since February, and we wondered whether it was help them out, because they'd be fresh, or would they be rusty. I have to say they look rusty, Kev, don't they? They do look like they're half a yard to a yard off it. So New Zealand have been very, very good in possession. 2 midfield players, Stamanic and Bell. Bell dropping a little bit deeper, just going in between the 2 centre halves to get the play ticking over. And again, the other surprising stat is we thought that Iran would dominate possession. It's been New Zealand, they've had 51% possession so far, and we mentioned about Chris Wood. He's been absolutely outstanding. He's given the perfect display of a centre forward who needs to hold the ball up. Exactly what he did for the goal, obviously with Just held it up brilliantly twice. Got a little flick on where I think he was trying to get it for himself to get his right foot volley away, and it came to Just. And Just's first touch was outstanding. From his left foot, he just transferred it to his right foot and smashed it past the Iranian goalkeeper. But as I say, I think Darren Basley, the New Zealand manager, obviously you need a hydration break, you need to refuel and restock, but it's come at the wrong time for them because they were in a real good flow.
We have seen this actually with a hydration break before, haven't we, that the momentum has shifted so often in games, and that's what New Zealand somehow have to guard against. It's worth bearing in mind that New Zealand breezed through qualification, thrashed Fiji 7-0 in the semi-finals in Oceania, and swept aside New Caledonia 3-0 in the final. This is an enormous step up for them. We saw in the warm-up against England how they were competitive but rarely threatened in truth, and Chris Wood was pretty much on an island for the whole way through. This has been a totally different performance.
Yeah, I think it's been the positivity, when they've been in possession. We mentioned, they didn't want to isolate Chris Wood up front, and you have to say Justin McCowan, it's been just more coming in from the left-hand side, getting himself nice and close to Chris Wood. And you said about the step up, just look at New Zealand, there's 9 of the last 11 internationals against non-oceanic opposition.
So we're back underway, 28th minute, Iran 0, New Zealand 1. An early goal from Elijah Just, beautifully taken. But here comes Taremi again, charging down the inside left channel. Early ball into the box, looking for Mohebi. Goalkeeper came, did he catch Mohebi? It was clumsy from Crocombe. Referee says there's no case to answer, and then Crocombe got caught in possession. It's only half clear, he's not in his goal, and the effort from long range goes wide of the target from Godos, but Mohebi is saying to the referee, surely the goalkeeper brought me down.
I actually think that there was a tangle of legs because Crocombe just took it a lot too easy. It was really good play from Taremi, just trying to switch play to Mohebi, and he overhit it, and Crocombe comes out, and it looks like he's going to get it quite easily. I don't think he's aware that Mohebi is behind him, and he gets in front of him in the end. Looked like there was a tangle of legs, but the referee says Arturo Ramos said there's nothing to see.
Has he got away with one there?
I think so, yeah. I'm surprised there hasn't been even a VAR check.
Well, it's a strange moment, really. Crocombe caught out not once but twice there. But here come New Zealand with Sarpreet Singh down the left edge of the Iranian penalty area, only half cleared to Kakache. Iran looking really nervous. Here's Kakache into the area, and the low shot is patched by Beren Vand. He fell to his left, the Iranian goalkeeper, to make what was a comfortable save in the end. But Kakache involved not once but twice, and testing the goalkeeper. New Zealand's full of confidence at the moment. They have been extraordinary in the opening half hour in Los Angeles. They lead Iran by a goal to nil. Live on TalkSport, Kevin Hatchard alongside Perry Groves for this one. Here's Godos out to the right hand side for Rezaian for Iran, tight to the right touchline, plays a high ball into the area. Mohebi tries to turn, and then Godos on the follow-up got right underneath it and sends the ball flying over the crossbar. Iran are dangerous, and they're starting to spark into life.
Yeah, the ball comes into Mohebi. He tries to hold the ball up, just bounces off him under pressure from Boxall. Then comes out to Godos. So he's just stretching with his left foot, can't get his knee over the top of it, smash it over Crocombe's crossbar. But just earlier than that, again, it was really good play from New Zealand with Singh in that 10 position, little link-up play with Kakache. Kakache getting his shot away. Really good save from Beren Van Loo down to his left-hand side.
Played forward by Muganlu, looking for Taremi. Mehdi Taremi inside left channel, approaching the edge of the box. Can he get the shot away? He tries to feed the teammate instead. It was a bit ponderous, that, from Mehdi Taremi, and he's lost it. And then Singh with the pass towards Wood that goes astray. They had a 3-on-2 there, New Zealand, and didn't get it right.
Yep, Singh just got to hold it up. He's just tried to play out to Chris Wood over on that right-hand side. Just need to take a touch. Normally, the thing that I've been impressed with the opening games of the World Cup, Kev, is normally high percentage are very cagey. There's nothing cagey about this game at all. Both teams have actually gone out, and obviously they know that the team before Belgium have had that draw, and they think, right, we're going to go and try and win this game. And it's got a good flow about it. It's very open.
There's Rezaian down the right. He's been heavily involved. Scored against Wales in 2022 in Qatar. It's come to Godos, right-hand side for Iran. The near side as we look at it finds Rezaian. Works it infield to Mahebi, 30 yards out, onto his left foot. Keeps it going to the left-hand side of Mohammadi. Out to Yousefi, tight to the left touchline. They've worked it well down the left at times. Mahebi has got across to make the extra man on that left-hand side this time. And there's a Tolahi now, just feeds it across midfield. And they work it again to Rezaian down the right-hand side. Always looking to attack, looking to cross. Comes in field, plays it with the outside of the boot. It's in the area. McGanley with the shot, and then the follow-up is put away by Rezaian to make it 1-1. He started the move, he finished the move, and Iran have found a response. Ramin Rezaian with his 9th goal for his country, and New Zealand, who have done so much good work, found themselves unlocked. It's 1-1.
Really good play from Rezaian. Iran move it really well from the left-hand side. Mohammadi just going in that sort of inverted left-back position. They keep possession. They get it out to Rezaian on this right-hand side. Just plays a little give and go with the outside of his right foot into Godos. Godos actually can't get control of it. Then it goes to Maghanlou. Maghanlou just makes sure that he puts Sermon under pressure. Sermon tries to get his tackling, and Rezaian does brilliantly, Kev, because he's actually followed his ball. The first ball with the outside of his right foot goes in. He's followed his ball. As the ricochet comes off of Sermon, then Rezaian just makes sure with the outside of his right foot, he just flicks it past Kokum, gives him absolutely no chance whatsoever. You have to say, the goals come against a run of play. We said about the hydration break, obviously ain't going to be good for New Zealand. It's got them out of their rhythm, and Iran have managed to capitalise.
Well, Ramin Rezaian, who scored against Wales in Qatar at the World Cup in 2022, and he was player of the match in that game, and he's come up big for his country tonight with a much needed equaliser in Los Angeles. And New Zealand, who had been so good for so long, found themselves pegged back to parity, but a long way to go. 1-1. It's already been a game in this group. Belgium drew 1-1 with Egypt. And there's Chris Wood again, finding just 40 yards from goal. McCowett now in off the right hand side. He went for the shot and he lost his footing completely. Total air shot for Callum McCowett, the Silkeborg winger. Plays his football in Denmark. He's won the Danish Cup with Silkeborg. Now Sarpreet Singh tight to the right touchline. Curling cross, volleyed away well under pressure by Namati. But here come New Zealand again, and a player down in midfield. And the referee gives the free kick. Stamanic was down. Maghanlou went into the challenge with him, but that was a dangerous ball in by Sarpreet Singh a few moments ago. And New Zealand, even though they've been pegged back, Perry Groves, keep on coming, and that's impressive, because you'd think you'd go back into your shell for a little bit, wouldn't you?
No, the game hasn't changed. So New Zealand just get back into their stride. And I'd say we've mentioned about Chris Wood being outstanding up front, but Singh's been very, very good in the 10 position, just getting the ball there on the right hand side, just trying to ease it into Chris Wood with his left foot. Really good defending from Namati. Just made sure he got to the ball first contact.
75th cap for the goal scorer Ramin Rezaian tonight. It's 36. And his debut 11 years ago. There's hope for us yet, Perry. You never know.
Late developers. I don't think they've got big enough shorts for me. I think they've got Giacomo.
So you've at least had your career, you've done your bit. I never managed to spark. Hence the mic in my hands rather than the ball at my feet. Bit loose here for Elijah Just. He had to tidy up there. The ball bouncing around midfield. Finds Stamanic. He's won league titles in 3 different countries. Marko Stamanic playing this football in the UK with Swansea. Space here for McCowett. He certainly looked lively when you bear in mind that had it not been for the injury to Matt Garbett, he probably wouldn't have started this game. Callum McCowett scored a couple of goals in qualification. Nice turn here by Joe Bell, sliding it out to the right, and Sarpreet Singh has been very good so far. Curling cross volleyed away by Ali Namati, who's been a busy man at the heart of that Iranian rearguard, and then a foul by Stamanic on Muganlu, and that gives Iran a free kick in midfield. 36 gone. Iran 1, New Zealand 1. Game still to come, by the way. 8 o'clock tonight. It's France against Senegal. You'll hear that on TalkSport. And then at 11 o'clock in the night, it'll be Iraq against Norway. Erling Haaland and company starting their campaign. That's on TalkSport 2. In the early hours of Wednesday morning, it's the champions who start their campaign. Argentina against Algeria. That's 2 o'clock in the morning on TalkSport. 5 o'clock in the morning, Austria-Jordan on TalkSport 2. Then 6 o'clock, Portugal against DR Congo. That's on TalkSport 2. And the big one, of course, England-Croatia, 9 o'clock on TalkSport. You'll hear every kick of these World Cup finals across the TalkSport network. 37 gone in LA. Iran 1, New Zealand 1. And it has been an even game. New Zealand nearly giving the ball away there in midfield. Boxall had strode out from defence. He's had a few scary moments in possession, Michael Boxall, so far, but he got away with it.
Yeah, but you see there, they're not frightened to try and play out from the back, New Zealand. You know, Boxall and Sermon get themselves on the ball. They normally split the width for the 18-yard box. Katache on the left-hand side just pushes up as if like a left wing back. Tain on the right hand side, so Bell just dropping deep, trying to get it all sort of ticking over. And just looking at Iran, obviously they drop back into like a 4-4-2 as well when they're out of possession, but I think that they need to be a bit more positive. I think they need to be a bit braver out of possession and go and close down, engage a bit early, because New Zealand have managed just to work it from the centre halves out to their right hand side quite easily.
You sing again on that right hand side, booming cross. It's too high though, that's gone all the way out for a goal kick to Iran. It is Iran's 4th straight World Cup. It's their 7th overall. They have never qualified for the knockout phase. Only lost once in 16 qualifiers. They've been champions of Asia 3 times, but not since the mid-70s. But it is an Asian powerhouse, no doubt about that. Qualified with room to spare, and they've got themselves a free kick here midway inside their own half. It's the experienced Eza Tolahi who is down. It's an aerial challenge and he landed rather awkwardly. But as we say, one of the new rules is that if players have to receive treatment, they have to go off the field to do it and then have to stay off for at least 60 seconds. So you have to really decide if you're going to stay down or not.
Yeah, to be fair, as a Talawi, I think he's just fallen awkwardly. You know, it looked like it might have been a head injury. That's why I think the referee stopped the game. But we saw there that his right leg went underneath him and his weight went onto his right knee. So this time I think it is a genuine injury, Drake.
Incidentally, Ramin Rezaeian, who got the equaliser for Iran, is the first Iranian to score in multiple World Cups, having got that goal against Wales in 2022. Eza Tolahi is still down, and as we say, when he does leave the field, he's going to have to stay off for at least a minute. Amir Ghalamui, the coach in charge for the 2nd time of Iran. His first spell was between 2006 and 2007. He saw the team knocked out in the quarterfinals of the Asian Cup and was heavily criticised for that, but he's back in the role as a club coach. He's won the Iranian title 5 times. He was something of a firebrand as a player. Tehran derby between Esteghlal and Persepolis in 1994. He fought with an opposition player and he was banned for 6 months, so he doesn't mess about. Wasn't an angel like Perry Groves.
Well, if you're going to do it, you've got to make sure you're a little bit clever.
Don't get caught.
Exactly, don't do it in plain sight.
I think everything's in plain sight in the Tehran derby, is the truth of it. So Eza Tolahi back on his feet, but off the pitch. So not for the first time in this game. Iran down to 10 men. And New Zealand trying to take advantage of it with an early throw from Kakache down the left-hand side. Iran have cleared up the touchline. Boxall had to come across and cover to get there ahead of Muganlu. 41 gone in LA. It's 1-1 between Iran and New Zealand on TalkSport.
Yeah, you saw a little bit of difference when the ball came out to Rezaian in the right back position. The difference in both teams out of possession, because Justice playing on the left hand side for New Zealand, he made sure he went and closed him down and put him under pressure. Rezaian then has to hit the ball quickly up the touchline, hits it out of play, and then New Zealand get the throw in.
Cacace to take the throw. Liberato Cacace, whose father is Italian, an immigrant from Naples. Therefore he was made to be a Napoli fan, as is the way of these things. He actually played against Napoli when he was playing in Serie A for Empoli. It would have been a proud day for his father. Here is Joe Bell for New Zealand, midway inside his own half, born in Bristol. Plays his football in Norway with Viking and won the Norwegian title with them. Here he is, just poking the ball away from Yousefi in midfield. That opened up some space for New Zealand. They've been so calm in possession this evening.
You mentioned Joe Bell there. He's the one who's like the conductor of the orchestra. He's the one who's dropping deep and going and get the ball. So if you're Iran, you say to Muganlu or Taremi, you go and engage him. You go and make sure that you stop him playing, because New Zealand have worked ball brilliantly from their defensive third up to the attacking third.
It's not really gone how we thought, in the sense that Iran have almost fallen into this contain and counter idea against the lowest ranked team in the competition. New Zealand certainly haven't played that way. Here's Elijah Just hugging the left touchline. They play it in towards the edge of the area, and a free kick given to New Zealand. It was a rather overzealous challenge, and the referee says Arturo Ramos was on the scene quickly to give the free kick to New Zealand. And again, that came from a positive pass, breaking the lines and forcing Haliazade to come out and make the challenge.
Yep. Just Zade comes out and makes the challenge onto Cacace, and again it just shows the positivity of New Zealand, because Cacace, who is obviously the New Zealand left back, he's playing virtually in their inside left position there. So it just shows you the confidence that New Zealand are playing with.
They have a free kick in a dangerous area here in New Zealand. Chris Woods, the captain, the record scorer, the super striker, is over it, and it looks as if he fancies this. It's a bit wide, but that won't stop him going for goal. Sarpreet Singh is there as well, but you would think Chris Wood's the only show in town here. Otherwise he'd have gone into the box himself. Here is Chris Woods, right foot shot, and comfortable for Bayram Van. They've got a good early view of that and watched it into his gloves.
Yeah, I think with Chris Wood, if you're going to do that, make Bayram Van make a save, you've got to make sure that it bounces in front of him. Just wasn't really, it was only a two-man wall from Iran. There was a big sight of the goal for Chris Wood. Obviously he's the captain, he's the top goal scorer, 45 national goals. Basically it's my ball. Any free kick around the 18-yard box, I'm taking it. Singh, you can just hover around if you think you've got a chance.
Rezaian forward to Muganlu for Iran, down the right hand side, the near side as we look at it. Muganlu lays it off to Yousefi. They work it to Mohebi, the number 8, right corner of the penalty area, forward to Godos. His flick on, away by Boxall, just nodded the ball clear. It's back into the New Zealand box, headed away by Cacace, drops onto the chest of Godos, and he got caught in two minds there, Godos, and ended up rolling the ball straight out for a goal kick to New Zealand. 6 minutes of additional time we will have here on TalkSport. We're into the first of those, and it is Iran 1, New Zealand 1.
Do you know, it's always a sign of good game, Kev, where I was actually surprised that the added time's come up so quickly. Do you know what I mean? The pace of the game has been excellent. The sort of ability, especially in New Zealand, to get themselves on the ball and look forward every time they've got it has been really impressive.
It's McCowett with the shot from range, and it was comfortable for Bayram Band. It was Chris Wood with good hold-up play again, slipped the ball to his right, and McCowett in on his left foot. Didn't really catch hold of it as he would have wished, and the goalkeeper just watched it into his gloves again.
Yeah, McCowett just coming in from that right-hand side when it comes into Chris Wood. He's got the two Iranian centre-halves on toast, basically. You know, they haven't managed to deal with him. One of them's got to go and engage and make sure you try and get the first contact and disrupt him. But it came into Chris Wood. He holds it up. McCowett comes in, gets it onto his left foot, he's got to be a bit brave and start the ball outside Behren Van's right hand post, try and bend it in the end it just goes straight down the goalkeeper's throat.
Hooked forward by the New Zealand goal scorer Elijah Just. He was looking for Chris Wood, but it was knocked away from Wood at the final moment. Wood, who scored 9 goals in qualification. Just on Elijah Just, by the way, he's now got 10 goals for New Zealand. In the previous 9 matches in which he has scored for New Zealand, they've won every time. Although that suggests they were up against perhaps inferior opposition most of the time.
Yeah, they're playing against Tahiti, Vanuatu, Samoa, Fiji and New Caledonia. So this is a step up for them.
That makes this all the more important and all the more impressive.
Very, very impressive with the belief that they've come out with. We saw them obviously against England. You know, England obviously played sort of 2 11s in each half, but we saw there was no positive stuff from New Zealand in that game. They just sat deep, and they was happy obviously to get away with the 1-0 defeat for a goal from Harry Kane. But they have been, you can say, New Zealand is first up one of the surprise packages.
Games already today. Spain against Cape Verde, 0-0, extraordinary. Belgium drew 1-1 with Egypt. Uruguay drew 1-1 with Saudi. Draws all the way. And we brought you all of them across the TalkSport network, including that amazing point for Cape Verde against Spain. Performance by 40-year-old Vosinha, the goalkeeper, who was stunning. Iran have won themselves a throw down the right-hand side. They're going to launch it into the box here. Godos getting Yousefi to get on with it. He speared that into the box, and Flick on takes it just off target. It was Muganlu who rose highest for it. It was a good throw by Yousefi, and Muganlu's header was onto the roof of the net, with Crocombe not really particularly exercised by that.
That's a really good throw from Yousefi from that right hand side. It is long. When you take a long throw, you've got to make sure you get it in the 6 yard. It's embarrassing otherwise. You know, when you see them push with their hand to say get away from me, I'm going to have a long throw. It comes to Muganlu, but to be fair, Boxall, the New Zealand centre half, did really well. He made sure that you go and engage that first contact. I think Muganlu was just trying to help it on off the top of his head, and Crocombe just watched it go aimlessly over the crossbar.
Behren Van took a long time getting rid of that. The Iranian goalkeeper, he was nearly pickpocketed by Sarpreet Singh, who's had a really lively half, but Singh has just been muscled out of it. On that far side, the Iranian left by Namati, the centre-back, who's come striding out of defence. Now Taremi, midway inside the New Zealand half, goes down under the challenge of Elijah Just. Free kick to Iran as we move into the 5th minute of the 6th addition.
Yeah, Just doesn't really need to make that challenge there. Taremi drops a little bit deeper, try and link up the play. He's actually faced his own goal, which makes sure you shepherd him a little bit further away. So Just tries to nick it with his left foot, tricks Taremi up, and gives away a free kick and a really dangerous one for Iran, just on the left-hand side, about 25 yards in from the left-hand touchline.
Great game in Los Angeles. Iran 1, New Zealand 1. Approaching half-time. It is Rezaian, the goal scorer for Iran, who will take this right-footed from the inside left channel. And he plays it into the box, and the header is into the bottom corner by Ali Namati. But the flag goes up, and Iran's joy might be short-lived. It was a lovely ball into the box, a free header for Namati, and he does look as though he's gone a bit early, and his first goal for his country may well be chalked off.
Yeah, Namati just gone a little bit too early. Easy decision for the linesman, because he just looked right across the line. It was actually a good defensive line from New Zealand. They made sure they didn't drop into the 18-yard box. They kept everybody on the 18-yard line. Good delivery from Rezaian into his right foot. Really good header actually from Namati. Just put it low down to Crocombe's right-hand side, but quite rightly, he was flagged offside. That was quite an easy one. Didn't even need to go to VAR care for that one, did he?
And he knew.
It was a good yard offside, exactly.
As soon as he saw the flag, he screwed up his face, and he knew that goal would be taken away. But it's a dig in the ribs for New Zealand late in this first half. Seconds remaining in Los Angeles of what's been an absorbing first half between Iran and New Zealand. Rezaian The Iranian goal scorer with a really poor clearance that hit Sarpreet Singh, could have got anywhere, but the ball spun into the gloves of Alireza Behranvand. The referee, Cesar Arturo Ramos, blows the half-time whistle, and what a half it's been. New Zealand with the perfect start. Elijah Just with a stunning volley from close range in only the 7th minute. Mehdi Taremi struck a post for Iran, and they did find their equaliser in the 32nd minute. Ramin Rezaeian with a fine finish. He's the only Iranian to score in multiple World Cups now for Iran. And the half-time score in LA, fascinating game. Iran 1, New Zealand 1. Thanks, Ollie. New Zealand in that first half had 5 shots on target. That is more than they managed in their last 4 World Cup finals matches combined. It shows you just how well they played against the odds in that first half against Iran. Iran forced to fight back to level at 1-1, and they are about to make a change at half-time. And it's a player that many people thought would start the game, Mehdi Gaedi, who is going to come on, and he'll replace Aria Yousefi and Perry Groves. What we do know is that Gaedi is a really dangerous player, scored 3 times in qualification, and he is somebody who's difficult to pin down.
Yeah, mistakes going on for Yousefi, so it should be like a like-to-like. I'd imagine, because I actually thought of the Iranian front players, Yousefi was probably the best one, so you probably think he's injured. Obviously, they had his long throw as well, which is another attacking threat from Iran. So Gaedi, you'd like to think, will get himself on the ball, get himself a bit closer to Moghanlou and Taremi. Because I say, when they were in possession, Iran, they were a little bit too static. I didn't think there was a good enough movement, especially from the front 2, where you got to look to threaten behind, the New Zealand back 4. So Gaedi will look to get himself on the ball and see if he can get Iran ticking over.
Back underway in Los Angeles. And it is Iran playing from right to left as we look at it, all in white. New Zealand all in black, playing from left to right. Chris Wood trying to get the ball under his spell, just on the edge of the Iranian area, but it's knocked away from him. Gakache on the follow-up, trying to close down the Iranian goal scorer, Rezaeian, as they smash it long, looking for the run of Taremi, and that's good cover by Finn Surman, just tidying up. And I'll run through the teams for you quickly. It's Behranvand in goal for Iran, Mohammadi, Khalilzadeh, Namati and Rezaeian the back 4, Gaedi, Ezzatullahi, Goros and Mohebi across midfield. Taremi up front with Moghanlou for Iran. As for New Zealand, Crocombe in goal, Gakache, Boxall, Surman and Payne at the back, Stamanic and Bell in midfield, Just, Singh and McCowart supporting Chris Wood. Wood, who was phenomenal in that first half, so difficult to deal with, and he set up the goal for Elijah Just in only the 7th minute. But it was Ramin Rezaeian, who scored against Wales in Qatar 4 years ago, who got the equaliser in the 32nd minute. Iran go long looking for Taremi. The header away by Surman, 22-year-old who plays his football in the US for Portland Timbers, boarding Cardiff. Finn Surman, and that's played long to Wood, who has so much room, thinks about the shot. Chris Wood rumbling forward, right foot shot, and it's wild from Chris Wood. He's frustrated with himself, but again, Perry Groves, he had so much room.
The ball comes into him, it's probably like a 40-45 yard ball. He can't believe this time he's actually taken it down with his right foot rather than his chest. And again, the 2 centre halves, they just back off. They back off. There's nobody within 4 or 5 yards of him. That enables him to get turned, then he can advance another 10 yards. Doesn't really have that sort of belief that he's going to hit the target. But I reckon that Chris Wood, he can't believe his luck, because normally he likes engaging centre halves and he likes actually to back in and feel the physical contact. He's had none whatsoever, and we've played 47 and a half minutes.
I do wonder if it's tactical or whether it's just how the game has gone, really. Gaedi, who's come on as this half-time sub for Iran, was racing onto a loose ball, but he's going to allow it to run out for a corner kick for Iran. And look at the centre-backs they have. Certainly Khalilzadeh is experienced. It's his 59th cap tonight. But they've got nowhere near Chris Wood, but they have this corner at the other end. Away to the left-hand side as we look at it. And it's going to be a chance for Iran to get some of the big boys forward. Ali Namati, who's already headed home but had a goal ruled out for offside. He's up from the back. And it'll be Rezayan to take. He raises his left hand, prepares to play this ball in right-footed. Lots of movement on the edge of the 6-yard box. Big Moganlu at the far post. It's towards the near post though, headed away by New Zealand. It'll drop on the edge of the area. And now Rezayan moves away from the defender, plays it in left-footed. High hanging ball headed back across goal. Gaedi with the shot right-footed. That was charged down on the edge of the area. Iran's number 10 denied there. And it remains 1-1 in the 49th minute.
Yeah, really good delivery. In swinging from the left-hand side from Rezayan. Moganlu just trying to get himself from the centre of the 6-yard box to the near post. To be fair, it was really good defending from Sermon. The New Zealand centre half. New Zealand go zonal right along the 6-yard box. And what you have to do, Kev, when you go zonal, you make sure when it comes into your area, you actually go and attack the ball, exactly what Sermon did.
And there's Moganlu, who's been a real handful. Physical centre forward. Lays it off to Rezayan. And his ball is really poor. It's probably the first poor cross he's put in, actually. He apologises. The 36-year-old who plays his club football for one of the giants of Iranian football, Esteghlal. And of course, the Iranian league was suspended due to the conflict in Iran. And so a lot of these players haven't had competitive football. You wonder if that will make an impact in the second half in Los Angeles. But here come New Zealand down the left-hand side, 1-1. It's been a fascinating game so far. If one of these teams can win it, they'll go top of the group. After Belgium and Egypt drew 1-1 earlier today. And there's Ezzatullahi, very experienced midfielder. He's only ever scored twice in 85 caps. The goals came 11 years apart, one in 2015 and one earlier this year. It's not really his calling card, scoring goals.
Not prolific.
No.
Thing is, when he scored his second one, he probably couldn't remember his first one.
Exactly. Had to be shown it, probably. You never went 11 years without scoring, Perry, did you?
It felt like it sometimes, to be fair.
Ball speared in towards Moganlu on the edge of the New Zealand penalty area. Left foot shot, he went for the curler, and he got it all wrong, and he's got players around him who are saying, why didn't you pass to us? But he saw a sliver of space and went for goal, and missed it by quite a way.
Yeah, it's good play initially from Moganlu, just making sure that he holds the ball up. Then New Zealand backed off, and then it was Karkache who actually went and closed him down. But he's just got it with his left foot, didn't really have the belief, just smashed it over Crocombe's crossbar.
Plays for Kalba in United Arab Emirates, Sharia Moganlu. Scored a couple of goals, both of them in friendlies. He's never got competitive strike for Iran. Bit of space here for Boxall, and now Finn Sermon, who's 22.
See again New Zealand, Kevin, they're in possession. Obviously the two centre-halves, Sermon and Boxall, split. Karkache on the left-hand side, he goes and stands right exactly where the halfway line meets the touchline on the left-hand side, and Payne does exactly the same thing. What they do really well is they make the pitch wide, so therefore then there's little pockets that Bell can get into. Obviously Singh in the 10 position, and the two centre-halves, Sermon and Boxall, they're not frightened actually to ping the ball in, ping it into the centre circle, either into Stamanic or into Singh. So I say in possession, New Zealand have been very impressive.
Darren Paisley's done a wonderful job with this team. It was pumped long down the right-hand side for Tim Payne. Lovely touch into the path of Sarpreet Singh. Seen the quality from him tonight that caused Bayern to sign him earlier in his career. He's had some problems with injury since then. Here is Stamanic, nice turn in midfield, plays it out to the right for New Zealand, and Tim Payne wearing number 2, but he rather dwelt on it there, Tim Payne. A player who had 2 years at Blackburn but never made a senior appearance and lost that ball rather clumsily.
Just looking at Chris Wood in the centre there, put his hands up in the air because they worked it really well on that right-hand side with Singh and Payne. And Payne needs to get the ball just out of his feet and whip it in because Chris Wood has pulled to the 6-yard box. He doesn't take another touch. You can tell, obviously, Chris Wood, being the experienced centre forward he is, quite rightly saying to Tim Payne, get the ball into the box.
Iran have made another change here. Ali Alipour, who plays his football for Persepolis, has come on for Moganlu, so a change in attack. A lot of journalists felt that Alipour was going to start tonight ahead of Moganlu. Used to play in Portugal with Maritimo and Gilles Vicente. He's won 4 Iranian titles, Ali Alipour. He's tried to make an impact straight away by diving into a challenge with Finn Surman. It's one way to announce yourself. 54th minute, live World Cup football on TalkSport. Iran 1, New Zealand 1. Kevin Hatchard alongside the former Arsenal star Perry Groves for this one. So much football still to come on the TalkSport network from this tournament. The charging run by Mohebi over halfway for Iran, but he was swarmed there by black-shirted New Zealand players, and here they come through the centre. Just play it to Wood, back to Just! Oh, they've done it again! Elijah Just at the double! A gorgeous goal! A 1-2 with Chris Wood, and Elijah Just thrashed the ball beyond the goalkeeper. Well, the New Zealand fans have been saying Kiwis can fly. They are soaring in Los Angeles. It's Iran 1, New Zealand 2.
Well, he says that's just what I do. I score goals. Because I said before, New Zealand have been working the ball really, really well. Katache on the left-hand side gets it first, then goes into Singh. Great little ball from Singh into Just, then Just into Chris Wood. Chris Wood looks like he's going to turn. He wants the ball back. Just like, no chance, I'm not giving it to you back. Then he just gets onto his right foot. And you think, right, can you show the composure? Just has a little look with his right foot, just puts it over the top of Vervan, who dives to his right-hand side. It's a really, really good finish from Just. You have to say, that just typifies New Zealand in this game. They've been brilliant in possession, they've moved the ball really quickly, 1 and 2 touch, and Just has just added that final finish. Brilliant play from New Zealand to go 2-1 up against Iran.
Well, Elijah Just has been part of a Motherwell team that's really caught the eye. And Jens Bertel Askew this season, he's had a nomadic career. He's been in the Netherlands, he's been in Austria, in Denmark. He's absolutely loved his time at Motherwell, and he is loving his time at this World Cup. He's now joint top scorer in the tournament. 2 goals and counting. It is a night in LA he will never forget. And New Zealand are California dreaming of a first ever World Cup win.
Well, it is an LA story, isn't it?
You are on fire tonight, I have to say. Here is Gaedi down the left for Iran, looking for a response. Gaedi twisting and turning, left edge of the penalty area. Lovely ball towards Taremi, and then the shot from close range blocked by Crocombe. It was all a bit of a mess, but the goalkeeper did just enough. He was right on top of him when the shot came in. Flags up in any case. I suspected that might be the case, but it was floated into Taremi, who nodded it down, and then the offside flag does go up, so this wouldn't have counted in any case. It's Godos who's beyond the last man, and he's beyond the last man by quite some distance.
Yeah, he's about a yard offside, Godos. Again, it was actually good defensive play from New Zealand, because they made sure that when the cross come in, they just took that step out and didn't drop right into the 6-yard box. Easy decision for the assistant on that far right-hand side. Good yard offside, Godos. But just a little warning there for New Zealand not to drop too deep.
Singh nearly got onto a ball in the number 10 position there. It was taken off his toe, but he'll run forth again here, finding Tim Payne. Payne's right-footed cross, and he's boomed that beyond Chris Wood. He was looking for the Nottingham Forest striker. Ball sailed over Wood's head there. But Chris Wood has made 2 goals for Elijah Just tonight, and Iran have never really got to grips with the Nottingham Forest striker, who, it's worth remembering, has had his season rather ruined by injury this term, but he has looked razor sharp in LA. Ball is given away rather cheaply by Mohebi. Iran find themselves behind once again. Khalilzadeh gets there ahead of Chris Wood, though, they slide it forward, Iran, but lose it on halfway. And here's Joe Bell in the centre circle, out to Just again. Now Sarpreet Singh, inside right channel, 10 yards inside the Iran half. And for once, Singh, having looked to play forward most of the time, actually went backwards that time, and maybe it cost him.
Yeah, but you know when you watch players, and I haven't seen Singh play live, it's the first time I've seen him play. He's very, very smooth, got brilliant balance.
He's just on a hat-trick, approaching the edge of the area, but he ran out of real estate, and the ball was taken away from him. Iran win themselves a free kick midway inside their own half. 59th minute. An extraordinary game, an extraordinary scoreline, as Tim Payne lunged into Gaedi to give away the free kick. New Zealand, who led inside 7 minutes, then were pegged back, but have retaken the lead. And here come Iran again, played towards Taremi in the New Zealand penalty area, needs support. He was getting it from Alipur, but he couldn't find him. It's come back to Taremi, trying to get the shooting angle, couldn't get it. He was crowded out there, Mehdi Taremi, who's got 14 club goals this season for Olympiacos in Greece. He got 10 goals in the qualifying campaign for Iran, but he's not been able to score so far tonight.
It's good defending from Sermon, New Zealand centre half, because when it got into Taremi, just on the left hand side of the 18-yard box, he made sure that he tracked his run. And then when Taremi got turned again, he made sure he went and closed him down, got the block in. New Zealand recycled possession.
Forward by McCowart, who's looked lively at times. He was trying to find Stamanic, who wasn't very happy with the quality of the pass. Stamanic lost possession, wanted that to be a bit more sure-footed from Callum McCowart. He has had a decent hour when you bear in mind he wasn't expected to start going into the game, although the injury to Matt Garbett opened up a space in the team. Here's Khalilzadeh knocking it forward for Iran towards Taremi. Gets the flick on, looking for Godos, but Godos beaten to it. Sermon's looked very accomplished at the heart of that New Zealand rear guard so far, and then Sarpreet Singh plays it forward, but they've got a free kick from an earlier foul. New Zealand, we've had an hour. Iran 1, New Zealand 2.
Yeah, just a little change there. McCourt has gone in the 10 position for 5 minutes. Singh's just come on the right hand side of the 3. But again, they're just very, very good with the little give and goes, Kevin. The little just flicks around the corner, and they've got a good awareness. The movement and rotation, especially of the 3 behind Chris Wood, has been excellent. We talk about Bell.
Quick free kick here up towards Wood, who's chested it down, and the follow-up shot from Singh is straight at the goalkeeper, banged it down into the turf, and Baron Vans was able to make a comfortable save. Here comes Mohammadi, who's been quiet down the left-hand side. He's usually one to rampage forward from left-back, but he's just played a rather hopeless ball that's floated all the way out for a New Zealand goal kick. You might remember Milad Mohammadi. He was the taker of that famous roly-poly throw-in against Spain in the previous World Cup. Remember that one?
Make sure you do your stretches.
I could definitely not do that
Get
now.
your downward dog done properly.
Not sure I could ever do it.
There's a little bit of crow.
It was quickly outlawed after that. FIFA had never thought about having to outlaw that kind of throwing. Ball loose on the right-hand side here from McCowart. He just ran out of real estate, and that's going to be a throw to Iran, who are heading towards what would be a shock defeat. You look at the FIFA rankings, Iran just outside the top 20. New Zealand's 85th in the world rankings and have never won a game at the World Cup finals, but they have played superbly. And Iran, of course, it has to be borne in mind, have had plenty of disruption to their training camp and their preparations for this game. They're keen not to make excuses in the build-up to the game, wanted to focus purely on the football and on their performance. They have work to do in Los Angeles to try and turn this around. And there's McCowart tight to the right touchline, the near side as we look at it for New Zealand. Bell, who's been a real metronome in midfield for them, but he ran out of room there. Joe Bell, who lists Sergio Busquets as his hero. Joe Bell hasn't quite been Busquets, but that kind of performance.
Yeah, he's the one who's played this that little bit deeper. The conductor, good awareness of what's going on around him. what he does really well, he ticks the game over. He doesn't take too many touches, you know, he keeps it simple and he tries to play forward. And just mention about Singh as well. Obviously now he's gone back into that 10 position. He's one of those players, the left-footed players always look easy on the eye anyway, but he's got great balance.
Here's Zayan with the cross and headed home by Mohebi. A free header, and Iran have dug deep again. The cross from Razayan from the right, a free header for Mohamed Mohebi, who heads in off the inside of the post. And it's Iran 2, New Zealand 2.
Brilliant cross from the right-hand side from Razayan. We said in the first half, Kev, he doesn't hesitate getting the balls into the box. And Mohebi does brilliantly. Just comes in, goes in between the two centre-half, Sermon and Boxall. There's no communication between them, so he gets in between the two centre-halves, and as the brilliant cross comes in from Razayan, then Mohebi just got to make sure that as he jumps, he just guides it with his forehead, just flicks it to the left, to the right of Crocombe, gives him absolutely no chance whatsoever. Brilliantly crafted goal from Iran's point of view, but really, really poor defending from Sermon and Boxall, the two New Zealand centre-halves. Just no awareness of where Mohebi was coming in between them, and Iran get themselves back in the game at 2-2.
He's been in really good form. Mohebi scored 6 goals in the qualifiers. It's his 14th goal for his country. And Iran are trying to capitalise on that momentum. They've made a change. Saman Goros has come off, played a big role in the first goal for Iran with a lovely touch into the path of Muganlu. And the replacement is the defender, Ehsan Haji Safi. He's a hugely experienced player. Haji Safi, 147th cap for his nation, 36 now. And that's an interesting one, because he is a left back who can play in the centre, but he is a defender. Just looking to see where they've put him, really, because
it looks like he's gone into centre midfield.
Yeah, he is versatile.
So it's just a like for like for Goros. Haji Safi just going in there. Maybe they want to try and get a little bit more control. Maybe they want a bit more physicality in there as well, because he loves to tackle.
Made his debut all the way back in 2008. Ehsan Haji Safi. Somebody who says he plays like the red emoji, plays with a bit of anger. Let's see if that works out for him in what remains of this game. Here's Razayan finding Taremi, dancing into the penalty area. Shot was charged down. And for all of New Zealand's excellent play, they are in danger here. Iran have momentum. Play towards Gaedi in the penalty area. His cross is blocked by Boxall. The ball's behind for a corner. And Iran starting to get to grips with the all-whites here. They have a corner.
Yeah, just see New Zealand just trying to sit a little bit deeper and deeper. Gaedi, one of the substitutory impactors, can't say substitutes anymore. Just trying to make himself busy coming from that right-hand side. Razayan going to take the corner from Iran's right, outside with his right foot.
Razayan, who's been involved in both goals, scored the first, made the second, 2-2 in LA, 67th minute on TalkSport. Razayan's corner, goalkeeper with the punch, clears the penalty area and gets the free kick. Max Crocombe on the floor, the Millwall goalkeeper. He's had 12 clubs in his career. Crocombe was born in Auckland but moved to England at a young age. Went to school with the former Leicester and Palace player Jeffrey Schlupp. Oh yeah, that's one for the pub food. If you're having a really niche conversation. So changes here for New Zealand. McCowart has gone off. They're bringing on Ben Old as well for Kakache. And Ryan Thomas has come on in place of McCowart. And he's a player that has great quality, Ryan Thomas, but he's had such a miserable time with injuries. Had 4 different knee operations. He was at PSV Eindhoven for 4 years, and his time there was really ruined by injury. And so he's come on for Makawa, and Kakache, who's had a really good game for New Zealand, a left back, replaced by the Saint-Etienne player Ben Bowles, the first New Zealand player to start in Liga. We're in the midst of a hydration break. You're not missing anything because Crocombe is still having some treatment. And this game is really up for grabs, Perry Groves, going into the closing stages.
Actually, this hydration break I think suits New Zealand. The one in the first half didn't, because they were in the ascendancy on the front foot. This time they've been taken back to 2-2, really good header from Mohabi, and Iran were just starting to take that little bit of control. You know, New Zealand just sitting a little bit deeper. So New Zealand have been brilliantly coached by Darren Bazley. He'll just get his players around him, and it's about belief now. It's about actually believing in yourself, because for this first 68 minutes they've acquitted themselves absolutely brilliantly, but at the levels they're not used to playing, especially for Iran's second goal, where Rezaeian is a really good cross from the right hand side. They don't go and engage the cross, but say Sermon and Boxall, who have been really good for New Zealand, 2 centre halves before that, no communication whatsoever. Wherever he just gets in between them, and it's a really good header. But that's the different levels that New Zealand are playing at.
Lots of football coming up on the TalkSport network. 8 o'clock tonight, France against Senegal. That's on TalkSport. First chance to hear how France will perform. 11 o'clock, late at night, Iraq against Norway. Erling Haaland on duty for the first time at this World Cup. The early hours of Wednesday morning, we've got the champions in action for the first time, Argentina, Algeria. That's at 2 in the morning on TalkSport. 5 in the morning in the early hours of Wednesday, Austria, Jordan on TalkSport 2. Then 6 o'clock in the evening on Wednesday, Portugal, DR Congo on TalkSport 2. And then the big one at 9 o'clock on Wednesday night, England against Croatia on TalkSport. England's first game of the World Cup finals in 2026. We have 20 minutes of normal time remaining in LA here on TalkSport. New Zealand have twice been in front through goals from Elijah Just. They've been pegged back twice. Goals from Ramin Rezaeian and then Mohamed Mohabi. Mohabi on sensational form for Iran. He's got 9 goals now in his last 13 caps. Scored regularly in the qualifiers. He actually had a 4-year break from the team. He was left out for a long time, but the coach, Amir Dalanui, brought him back in, and has certainly caught the eye since returning to the international fold. So Crocombe gets us back underway with a long clearance, and that's headed away by Azatolahi, and now there's a bit of room down this left-hand side for Gaedi. He's got runners ahead of him. He's looking for Mohammadi. And it's really good play from Stamanic, who's a muscular presence in that midfield for New Zealand. His attempted clearance was won by the head of Haji Safi, but the ball goes straight out to play for a New Zealand goal kick. How do you approach this, Perry Groves, if you're New Zealand? Because twice in front, twice pegged back, but if you were to take a point, it's not a bad result, is it really?
Yeah, I think that's what will happen when we see in this last sort of 19 minutes of normal time, where it will be interesting to see if New Zealand say, like, what we have we hold, because they've been very positive up until now. It's Iran who's got the momentum, get themselves back into it at 2-2, but New Zealand just got to keep their belief.
There's the tricky Gaedi, right-footed cross, brilliant header away by Sermon. Been so impressed with him at the heart of this New Zealand rear guard. Brilliant header clear. Here's Gaedi again, though, the number 10 for Iran. Plays it to Mohabi, his shot charged down. He was just inside the New Zealand penalty area. Now Haji Safi with the cross. He is moving out to that left-hand side now, Haji Safi, which is a more natural position for him. And then just tries to bring it forward for New Zealand, and is brought down by Azatolahi. Azatolahi did not agree with the decision. It's been played in a really good spirit, though, really fair? The referee hasn't got the card out once so far.
No, I think, to be fair to the referees, tried to let the game flow. I think Tane was probably lucky in the second half where he had a bit of a late tackle on Mojave.
Yeah, it was close, wasn't it? It was the closest we've come.
To be fair to Cesar Arturo Ramos, the Mexican referee, he just actually said, basically get on with it and let the game flow.
It's been all the more watchable and hopefully listenable for that. We're on TalkSport. Live World Cup commentary with Kevin Hatchard and the former Arsenal star Perry Groves. Iran 2, New Zealand 2, New Zealand twice in front. And Iran have pegged them back on both occasions. What a night for Elijah Just. First New Zealand player to score twice in one World Cup game. And Chris Wood, the first New Zealand player to deliver 2 assists in one game in a World Cup finals match.
Yeah, they've got to see if they can get the ball, keep getting it into Chris Wood, so can hold it up and get Singh and Just around him, which they've done really well up until now.
He played long towards Wood, he chested down, he was looking for the run of Stamanic, who'd broken forward from midfield. Nemati's come across to deal with the danger and eventually just had to roll it out on the far side. He had no real options really, and New Zealand looking to stay on the front foot. Just will take the throw, finds Stamanic, back out to Just, tight to the left touchline, the far side as we look at it. For New Zealand, rolls it into Singh, edge of the area, goes into the Iranian penalty area, Sarpreet Singh, and lays it off to Stamanic again, now Singh. Singh rolls it into the box, it's played low across the 6-yard box away by Iran, but only half cleared, and they'll keep the pressure on, hold out to the left, curling cross over the head of Chris Woods, and New Zealand couldn't quite find the quality in those wide areas there. Had they done so, might have carved out a chance.
Well, we wondered how they were going to react. They've reacted really positively over that left-hand side. Obviously, Old's gone in and played in the left-back position, but he's still playing as a left wing-back like Katache was in the first half.
They played with real intent, real quality. I think they've surprised a few here in New Zealand. It's not been contain and counter, it's not been a situation where they've just been content to dig in, but here come Iran with Taremi. That buzz around the stadium every time he gets it. Rezaeian back to Taremi, edge of the D, tees it up for the shot from Haji Safi, and it didn't get very far, blocked by a New Zealand defender on the edge of the penalty area. Iran are getting on with it, quick throw to Gaedi, quarter of an hour normal time to go on TalkSport. Iran 2, New Zealand 2. And New Zealand with some excellent defending there from Tim Payne as he got in between Gaedi and the ball and went down for the free kick. Neither Iran nor New Zealand have ever scored 3 goals in one World Cup match, and they've had 24 games between them before tonight in LA. First time for everything.
Well, the way that the game's gone and the way that it's flowed, you wouldn't be betting against another goal in this game. It's who can have that little bit of creativity and who can be clinical in the decisive moments.
Ball dropping on the edge of the New Zealand penalty area. Taremi's nipped in ahead of Sermon. It's one of the very few mistakes that Finn Sermon's made. Gaedi 20 yards out, finds Taremi. Can he get the cross in? He can. And is that going to go out for the corner? Did he manage to keep it in? Mehdi Taremi. Everybody looking across to the assistant as Taremi just stretches out the leg. It was a dangerous move from Iran down the inside left channel. I think that ball just snuck out before Taremi managed to get his boot to it.
Yeah, it was good link-up play with Gaedi just coming in the inside left position, just a little reverse pass to Taremi, just overhit it slightly, so a little bit better quality. Taremi's in, can't quite get his cross in, looks like he's struggling a little bit with cramp.
New Zealand making a change here at right back. Callum Elliott is going to come on for Tim Payne. Tim Payne's millions of social media followers now can be pretty content with what he produced in this game. Callum Elliott, who was born in Scotland, plays for Auckland FC. And half a season with Motherwell.
Yeah, just like for like, just obviously Elliott going in that right back position. Again, it'll be interesting. Obviously, Old's gone into the left back position and Elliott's come into the right back. Whether they push as far up the pitch as what they had been for 75 minutes.
It's got to a point where Darren Baisley, the New Zealand coach, is going to have to make a decision about whether they're going to push for a winner here. The temptation would be to actually do that because they've never won a World Cup game. Feels like this is on for them if they can get the quality up to Chris Wood. 12 minutes of normal time remaining. And it remains 2-2. And both teams, I think, are going to go for this. Belgium and Egypt drew 1-1 earlier on in the group. And we've had draws all the way on this day of the World Cup. Spain and Cape Verde 0-0. Extraordinary result. Uruguay and Saudi Arabia 1-1. Belgium 1, Egypt 1. You heard all of it across the TalkSport network.
If you're Vozinha, the Cape Verde goalkeeper, do you think you might throw a little moody calf muscle injury? Because it ain't going to get better than that, is it? It's not. He's had the game of his life at 40 years of age. He was like an octopus, pulling saves off all over the place.
To ride the wave. Here's Rezaeian with the cross from the right for Iran towards Taremi, who won the far post header, but the ball floats well wide of the target. It was always tough for him. He just couldn't get above the ball. And there's going to be another change here, and that's actually going to be Taremi's last act of the game, and Amir Hossein-Zadeh is going to come on for Iran. I'd say I'm a little surprised by that. There's an argument to say that the man coming on, Amir Hossein-Zadeh, has been the best player in the Iranian league in the past season or so. He's been a regular scorer for Trabzon. He scored 5 goals for Iran last year, and they are all 5 that he's got for his country, so he's a man in form. So it's a completely new forward line now with Hossein-Zadeh alongside Alipur.
Yeah, I think Taremi, we said earlier when he just tried to take that reverse pass from Bayedi on the left-hand side, he had a little bit of cramp, so I think obviously he's just managing his minutes. Hossein-Zadeh, you said, will go up front alongside Alipur, try and get that threat in behind.
Ryan Thomas has just won a free kick for New Zealand around about 8 yards inside the Iranian half. It was a bang to the head. He's just gingerly rubbing his head as he walks towards the penalty area. And what can New Zealand come up with here?
Well, Singh's going to take the free kick with his effort. You just ping it to the far post from this right hand side,
and that's what he's done. It's a brilliant header away actually by Mohammadi. Ryan Thomas keeps it going though, works it to the left hand side, curling cross. Goalkeeper made a mess of it really, but he got just enough on it. It looked as though New Zealand might have a header towards goal there, and Beranvand rather uncertainly threw himself at it and was delighted to see that ball squirt away from danger. It's actually come off Finn Sermon. Goalkeeper in no man's land there really.
To be fair, it looked like Beranvand wanted to get his centre-half Namati out of trouble because their Sermon just got in behind him. So at least the goalkeeper made a decision to make sure that Sermon didn't get the free header. But we mentioned about New Zealand and what their attitude was going to be. They're definitely not sitting back. They're not, trying to just see out this as a 2-2.
Fantastic atmosphere in this cavernous space-age stadium. Cost billions of dollars to build. Stadium that's hosted the Super Bowl and the CONCACAF Gold Cup final and WrestleMania for good measure. And this has been something of a wrestling match between these two. Certainly been spectacular. And there's an Iranian player down in midfield, and Iran have played the ball out. It is the centre-back Khalilzadeh who's down just holding his face. Rezaeian, the right-back for Iran, is claiming that there was an elbow in there. Just talking to Chris Wood, they're having a bit of a disagreement, shall we say, a bit of a heated debate. I think actually Khalilzadeh runs into Chris Wood.
Yeah, to be fair, Chris Wood is actually trying to get him out of the way, and Khalilzadeh runs into him. Chris Wood just turns his shoulder. Rezaeian is trying to say to the referee, says Arturo Ramos, that it's been an elbow. just trying a bit of skullduggery going on. And Chris Wood looks at him with to say, what are you on about? He's run into my shoulder.
It has been a fantastic atmosphere, of course, the eyes and ears of the world on this one because of the political context, but it's been the football which has shouted loudest in LA this evening.
Well, the good thing about it is even before the game, you know, the Iranian national anthem, there was no reaction, was there? There was no, we thought there might be, you know, some boos or some negatives. There wasn't at all. And football is the winner, without any shadow of a doubt, because it's been a brilliant game, a brilliant advert, obviously, for the group stages of the World Cup. Because both teams have set out to go and try and win the game.
7 minutes of normal time to go. Here's Ryan Thomas, mustachioed midfielder for New Zealand, but he's lost out to the excellent Rezaeian. He has been phenomenal at the age of 36 down that right-hand side, and he's gone down for the free kick. Bit of a disagreement between Thomas and Mohebi after Thomas's challenge brought down Rezaeian for a free kick.
It's a foul from Thomas, right? He's just tried to hook the ball over his right foot and he's tripped up Rezaeian. Rezaeian rolls around like a scene out of Platoon, and all of a sudden obviously he's trying to get Thomas booked. He realises it's not happened, and then who'd have thought it, he just jumps up and says, no, I'm alright thanks, because I don't want to go off for the minute.
Sermon's header away for New Zealand. 6 minutes of normal time to go on TalkSport. Iran 2, New Zealand 2. Fantastic game. And there's Hossein-Zadeh, who's just come on, the number 18 for Iran. And they work it into midfield for Ezzatullahi. He's done a steady job in there. Plays it to the inside right channel, midway inside the New Zealand half, and Mohebi, who's been a presence in this second half, got the equaliser. Ezzatullahi tries to feed it into the box. Only half cleared, shot on the turn. That's blocked. They're looking for Hossein-Zadeh. And the shot in the end from Ezzatullahi is well off target, high and wide from the midfielder, but they were struggling there, New Zealand, to clear their lines.
And to be fair to New Zealand, though, they're putting their bodies on the line. As they drop that little bit deeper on the edge of the 18-yard box. When it comes out to Hossein-Zadeh, so he should just be a little bit more patient. Just see if he can just roll it out to the right-hand side to Rezaeian to get his crossing.
Ezzatullahi, who was a really promising player at youth level. He was captain of Iran's under-17 team, led them to the semi-finals of an under-17 World Cup. At the age of 19, he became the youngest player ever to score for the senior team, although that record's since been broken. Iran have won themselves another free kick here. Haji Safi brought down. Haji Safi, by the way, the third most capped Iranian now with 147. Only Ali Daei, their legendary striker, and Javad Nekunam have more. And in theory, he'll go top of that list at this World Cup. There is Hossein-Zadeh's solid run down the inside left channel. It's found Gaedi. His cross was blocked and clearance completed by Sermon. But here come Iran again with Mohammadi down the left-hand side. The near side as we look at it. Haji Safi forward to Mohammadi in his yellow boots. Feeds it to Gaedi. Diminutive winger, full of tricks and lively play. Hossein-Zadeh across to Ezzatullahi. Right foot shot straight at Crocombe. He was just trying to curl that into the top corner. Saeed Ezzatullahi. And the goalkeeper all in line, made a comfortable save.
Yeah, really good play initially from Hossein-Zadeh. He's just dropping a little bit deeper off Alibor, just playing in sort of that sort of 10 position. Comes out to Ezzatullahi, gets it onto his right foot. He's trying to bend it into Crocombe's top left-hand corner. In the end, he gets so much whiff on it, he just goes straight to Crocombe, who saves it quite comfortably. But I've been impressed with Hossein-Zadeh since he's come on. You know, you want that fresh legs, you want that impetus. He's been really busy, just like trying to play in the pockets, get the link-up play in with Alibor, who's standing a bit further up front.
28 goal attempts in the game. It's been a phenomenal watch, and hopefully a phenomenal listen wherever you are in the world, listening to us here on TalkSport. 2-2 between Iran and New Zealand. Here's Gaedi down the left-hand side for Iran, but taken off his toe by Callan Elliott. Iran want to get on with it. Both teams are pushing for the win here, but Iran have momentum with Mohebi, who who got their second equaliser. Out to Mohammadi, his cross is blocked by Elliott, and that's going to be an Iranian corner. And the Iran fans sensing there could be a winner, really upping the noise levels in LA. Big Iranian community in Los Angeles, Tehrangeles they call it, and it is going to be a corner to Iran. Referee unhappy with something, but Rezan is going to take this. 89th minute, Iran on the front foot. It's a bit of a pushing match here between Khalilzadeh and Oles, and eventually get this corner taken.
It's very unusual, there's not one Iranian player in the 6-yard box at the moment.
Rezan's ball in, it comes to the far post, and it was a really poor effort. It's gone right across the face of goal. Back in by Rezan, solid header by Sermon. Mohebi has it, left corner of the penalty area. Hossein-Zadeh trying to drop the shoulder, and then that's swept away by New Zealand. Can they now counter? Just he moved away from Haji Safi, who picks up the first yellow card of the night and just accepts it. A little nod to the referee. Yes, I know I should have got a yellow card for that. He knew exactly what he was doing. There was no way Elijah Just was going to be allowed to escape there.
Well, I think they call it taking one for the team there from Haji Safi, because he knew it was brilliant play from Just, where he just let the ball roll across his body, tried to spin him, and he knew that it was going to be a 3-on-3 if Just got himself on the ball. So Haji Safi, that was what you call experience.
He tapped Just on the shoulder as if to say sorry there.
You knew I had to do it.
Free kick from New Zealand, pumped into the penalty area. Iran are able to clear. It's collected by the blue-booted Thomas. He'll just let it run for a throw on the far side, the left, as we look at it for New Zealand.
Haji Safi there, that was someone who's got 147 caps.
Yeah.
He knew what was going on around him. He knew exactly what he needed to do.
The ball might go past me, but you, my friend, will not. It's going to be a throw to New Zealand. Boxall's got a cross to take it. They're going to launch this. Michael Boxall, ball in hand, throws towards the near post. It wasn't that great, to be fair. Ezzatolahi able to take it on his chest, and then Iran have cleared it long. Gaedi with a good battle between him and Elliott, and Elliott stood his ground there. The Iranian coach Kalanui came to the edge of his technical area, threw his hands out as if to say, surely a free kick there, but referee says Arturo Ramos unmoved. He's been excellent, by the way, the Mexican referee. It's really let the game flow. It's been under control from the get-go, and the two teams have helped with their approach to the match. Callum Elliott for New Zealand, over halfway, down the right-hand side to Wood, who just nods it down, looking for Sarpreet Singh. He has buzzed around dangerously all night, Sarpreet Singh. And Joe Bell suddenly found himself surrounded, but managed to win the throw.
Well, we said before the game that New Zealand players would have to be at an 8. All of them would have to be at an 8, and you have to say, Kev, they have been. Every single one, if you go from like the two centre-half, Sermon and Boxall, who defended the box really well. Singh, well, I think he's been outstanding as well in that 10 position. Just got himself a couple of goals. Chris Wood has given an exemplary performance as the target man up front.
So making a couple of changes here. Going to send on Jesse Randall in place of Sarpreet Singh, who looked as though ready to drop. And they brought on a defender, Tyler Binden, for Marko Stamanic. That's a defender for a midfielder. We'll see if they go to 3 at the back. But they've got this throw first, which Callum Elliott takes from the right-hand side. It's a much better throw in towards Wood, but it's cleared well by Alipur for Iran into New Zealand territory. We've had nearly 2 of the 5 additional minutes here on TalkSport. Iran 2, New Zealand 2. Here come New Zealand down the left-hand side, curling cross. Chris Wood's header straight at Berenband. He couldn't get the power. He was about 12 yards out, and he just tried to guide it into the top corner, but it was too straight. And Ali Reza Berenband able to make the save.
Yeah, Mohammadi did really well. He made sure that Chris Wood didn't get a free header. Good cross from the left-hand side from Old, just knowing that obviously Chris Wood is going to be in between the posts. And Chris Wood is just trying to guide his header back across Berenband, but he couldn't get enough purchase on it. We'll say Mohammadi did really well. Just make sure he doesn't get that free header.
was a really short back pass there. Chris Wood was nearly onto it. Bayram-Band had to come and deal with the danger, the Iranian goalkeeper. Now the space for Hossein Zadeh down the left for Iran. The near side, as we look at it, just inside New Zealand territory. Yeah, it's a game that's there to be grabbed.
Looking at New Zealand, they've gone to that a back five now. So Bindon just going alongside Sermon and Boxall.
Bindon on the books of Nottingham Forest, has been on loan at Sheffield United, was at Reading at one stage. And Iran in midfield with Mohebi, whose equaliser made it 2-2. Hossein Zadeh out to Mohammadi down the left, and a crunching challenge from Callum Elliott sends that ball behind for a corner. We're approaching the final 90 seconds in LA. It's been an absorbing contest. Will there be a late winner? Iranian fans on their feet. Can their team find a way to win, having twice been behind? Gaedi over this corner. Is this the final chance? Number 10 takes it right-footed. High-hanging ball, headed back across goal. Virtually off the line by Thomas. He was right underneath the crossbar, and he dealt with the danger superbly. Would have been so easy to make a mess of that. And Iran are denied. Final minute of stoppage time, perhaps. And then Thomas, who's been tireless since coming on, he's really thrown himself around, gives away the free kick.
Yeah, he's gone in that midfield area, just that fresh legs, but he just reads the danger there. Just made sure he stays on the far post, just gets his header away, because Mohebi was coming in at the far post. Good defensive play from Thomas. Obviously Iran have been in ascendancy in this last 10 minutes. Got 25 seconds of added on time to go. Can they get themselves forward a little bit quicker? Can they get the ball into the box one more last time?
There's Rezaeian, who's been excellent for Iran. Down the right-hand side for Gaedi. Bindon stuck with him, watched the ball and knocked the man, and strides out to defence and is caught as he does so. That's a free kick, and that might be that. All eyes now on Cesar Arturo Ramos from Mexico.
If this was a boxing match, right, at the end of when the final whistle goes, it's when the two boxers just throw their arms around each other, where they punch the life at each other and go, actually well played.
It is the final whistle. It is a point apiece. An absorbing contest in LA. The build-up dominated by non-football matters, but it was the football that took centre stage once that whistle went. New Zealand twice in front through Elijah Just, once in the first half, once in the second, but on both occasions Iran found a response. Rezaeian with an equaliser on 32 minutes, Mohebi with a second leveller on 64. It was a phenomenal game, and it was a very encouraging start by New Zealand, who may wonder what might have been, denied what would have been their first ever World Cup victory. But Iran showed great determination, great reserves of silk and steel as they twice found an answer. And it is draws all round at the start of this group. It has finished in Los Angeles, a cracking game. New Zealand 2, Iran 2.